We're here at the Cadet Chapel to honor and remember the last roll call of the members of the class of '59 who have departed since the last reunion, and to honor their service and the service of all like them in the military and out. Duty, honor, country. The lives of many West Pointers have been given in honor of those words for centuries. As the class of '59 gathers to honor the departed here at the United States Military Academy Chapel. Craig.
I'm the fourth organist choirmaster here.
And is this not the largest?
This is the largest pipe organ in a house of worship in the world.
Wow. Aren't you honored to be?
23,000 pipes.
My goodness. Well, you're honored, and thank you for your service in taking care of this and taking care of it for future generations.
Thank you, sir.
Great. Can I just take a picture of?
Absolutely.
Can you tell me why this is so special?
Well, it is so special because, first of all, it's the second largest console of its type in the world after Atlantic City, but its compactness is such because Frederick Meyer, who is the organist, and then of course Jack Davis, who is the organist when you were here, he had to conduct the choir while playing.
Wow.
And so the design is very unique. Very unique, yeah.
Right, so. To have the choir facing each other this way?
They did, yeah. And then also they could see the director as well.
Right,
so,
right. Thank you for your service and for taking care of this.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
they say that that's a better acoustic.
Classmates, widows, family members, friends, all here are gathered for this solemn service. I wanted to say that we have a special place up in the front for widows and their guests, and some of them are here, but some we didn't get the word to. We have a rose for you here. So if you're a widow with your guests, we invite you to come up and tell you have the roses there. And we'd like to give you a rose and have you sit up in front with us. Any others? Well, we especially welcome those widows that are here today. We honor them as members of our class. Paul, please.
We give thanks today as we gather in this holy place in gratitude for those of our classmates who have gone before us, who have lived their lives with courage and who have now laid down their arms. May We remember them as they were when they were with us, active in lives of striving to do their duty. We resolve to be worthy of their example, to keep the honor of the long gray line unstained. We recognize in them the spirit that made our country great, with the willingness to serve even unto death. We give thanks as well for those of us still standing, however unsteadily, joined in fellowship at West Point by bonds that drew us together over 60 years ago. We give thanks also to our partners in life, for our wives and their families who have borne much and supported us and sometimes prodded us unwaveringly through the years. Be with us now, we pray, on the next leg of our journey as we step forward, knowing that our work is not yet complete, but confident in knowing that you will always be at our side. This we ask in humility and love. Amen.
A reading from Ecclesiastes. There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to uproot. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to tear down and a time to build. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to scatter stones and a time to gather them. A time to embrace and a time to refrain. A time to search and a time to give up. A time to keep and a time to throw away. A time to tear and a time to mend. A time to be silent and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. A time for war and a time for peace. The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
64 years ago, can you believe it? Teenage boys were winding their ways by train, bus, car, airplane, and boat from all corners of the world, the United States and around the world. They stood in their new ranks on a grassy bluff overlooking the Hudson River. Filled with energy, excitement, and anxiety, they solemnly swore to support the Constitution of the United States and to bear true allegiance and to maintain and defend the sovereignty of the United States. At that moment, the West Point class of 1959 began a long journey. Our long journey had many chapters. As cadets, we were competitors. As we were judged by our alma mater and by each other on many things. We each strived to achieve the honor of being a West Point graduate. Despite the competition, we had already begun forming bonds that have only gone stronger over the years. Countless nights were spent coaching each other in fleet math or chemistry, or in sweaty bonding on the fields of friendly strife. Al Bruel and I had the honor of having our faces bashed in by our roommate, Don Epelbarger, as he trained to win and won the Brigade Boxing Championship as a plebe. The special distinctions and the bonds had just begun. National football and lacrosse championships and many others that were mentioned by Pete Kehoe this morning had exemplified the spirit of this class. They were really over the top. Then, 60 years ago, 499 of those boys graduated and left as men to be scattered around the world to join fighting units in the United States Army, Marine Corps, and Air Force. Our ranks had been depleted by some who had lost their battle with West Point's academic departments, but many of those also maintained their connection to our class, and we honor them today also as brothers. Our class ranks were strengthened by the wives we married and the children we fathered. They have been our quiet mainstay, our encouragement, and our reason to keep on keeping on. These wives and children became a part of the class, and many of them are with us here today, and we're so proud of them. In a humid jungle field position in Vietnam, my unit was alerted to hold fire while a friendly unit approached our perimeter. There, emerging from the brush, came a Vietnamese Army patrol led by Hugh O'Connor. What a joy to see a classmate in the field as a soldier's soldier. When I was leading the last American Artillery Battalion out of Quang Tri Province, the North Vietnamese Army was close behind. Didn't know where to land because the situation had fallen apart. But I remember that Hugh Sock's battalion was in the Da Nang area. He didn't hesitate to welcome my whole unit and move us in, and we defended that together. These are just personal examples of who we are and what we experienced. No matter where we were, no matter what the situation, you could count on your band of brothers. Later in our class journey, many left the ranks of the military, went on to distinguish themselves and our class by leadership in academic institutions, by leadership in business and industry, in medicine, and also by leadership in their communities. We imparted our core values to our children who are independent and responsible. For those who marched up this hill to this beautiful chapel every Sunday morning, we remember the words of Chaplain Bean that he always recited. Lord, give us the strength to change those things that can be changed, the serenity to accept those things that can't be changed, and the wisdom to know one from the other. We felt the gripping of hands that strengthened our hearts as the long line stiffened and straightened. The brother of one of our fallen classmates recently wrote this to the class, and I quote, "All of you were eagles once. To me, you are eagles still. I didn't want you to think it's a view confined to classmates. I wanted you to know that the work you've done, the hard tasks accomplished, the men you were, the men you are now, are still engendering awe, respect, and jealousy from those outside your class. We lost those who gave their ounce of devotion in combat or to the illnesses and injuries suffered in war. Many other 59ers live on as men whose bodies were broken in service, but whose spirits are still strong. Our ranks are thinning by the laws of nature. As death has inevitably taken its toll, we have gathered at various chapels and cemeteries around the country to bid farewell to those who we had come to love and to encourage each other. We have begun to sense the true meaning of the long gray line, even in its ghostly assemblage. Let it be known that the class of 1959 has been faithful to that oath we took on the plane in 1955. May it be said, well done.
It's an honor today to address this crowd and the important subject of the brotherhood that we share. For us, our brotherhood began July 5th, 1955, not so much by design as by necessity, to help us survive the rigors and challenges we encountered during Beast Barracks and beyond. Over time, our initial bonds grew stronger and deeper, and we learned that we needed to depend upon one another in order to best navigate the system. Following graduation, our linkage to one another increased and evolved as we moved forward professionally and personally over the years. Along the way, our girlfriends became our wives, and they too became a key part of our evolution as brother, becoming in part a sisterhood to what is truly our brotherhood. Later, what had initially been an informal plan of action was given some structure. In June of 2002, almost 17 years ago exactly, Jim Walsh created and distributed our formal last farewell policy, emphasizing the definite need for us to take care of our brothers and their families as changes and circumstances would warrant. Soon thereafter, in February of 2003, Sandy Beach stepped forward to put substance and framework to this concept. It was in his document that we first witnessed the term Band of Brothers 59. A key element to this program was to identify the Band of Brothers' point of contact to assist survivors as needed. Over time, and certainly recently, myriad circumstances have caused this point of contact objective to be more difficult to attain. That said, the need persists and grows. Our brotherhoods continue to evolve in life as life's changes have become more and more integral to who we are and to what we can do today and going forward. Our brotherhood is no less important today than it was decades ago, and I might say that it is more important now because we're beginning to need each other even more. As age, mental and physical challenges, geographic distribution, and other factors come into play, we become impacted, as do our lives. Given myriad issues, one could suggest that there are to some extent now two physical manifestations of our brotherhood. I mentioned this morning in our meeting. The East Coast is blessed to have a high concentration of brothers. So when the need arises, the brothers can respond. We have seen some magnificent pictures of a large assembly of brothers with a widow of a recently passed tragedy. When you go west of the Mississippi, simplistically speaking, that is not the case. There are miles, tens of miles, hundreds of miles between classmates. I'm asking if you can try to step up and fill that void as time goes forward. Much of my focus today as your Band of Brothers administrator is to help us marshal individual and sometimes collective efforts following the death of a classmate to care for our wives and the next of kin. Sue Breen and her awesome Women of Class website has become an important factor in our communications with spouses and helping us remain connected. The recently distributed 9-page document, quote, taking care of your widow while she is still your wife, end quote, was an effort to provide each of us a working outline of issues requiring attention in order to take care of our surviving spouses while we can. Hopefully, classmates will take that outline or something similar and customize it now, creating a specific and tailored roadmap for the widow or those helping her. My specific roadmap for Nancy is a 5-page document versus the 9 pages of the original outline that you've been provided. And it is tailored for our 2 sons to step up to the plate to support their mom, as they always have. That's important. That said, one classmate commented to me very recently that he very much appreciated the document and the effort that went into it, and that he is sure that it will be helpful after he passes. That was not the purpose of the document. You have work to do now. As the saying goes, the ball is in your court. Occasionally I can help, and I will do what I can. But hopefully you have already or will soon step forward, dot the I's, cross the T's, in order to take care of your widow while she is still your wife. Classmates, we need to grip hands now more than ever. None so fine.
It's with respect and reverence that I have the privilege of speaking the names of each of our departed classmates. And I would ask if we could all stand. And I would suggest that as I read through the names, we each try to fashion a vision in our minds of who they were, who they are, what they mean to us, and about this band of brothers of ours. James Adams, Ronald Baldwin, Randall Bell, Albert Brule, John Breyer, Jr., Donald Cohen, Rhodey Conway, Arthur Sear, Jr., Albert Doris, James Dorsey, Michael Fletcher, David Freed, Charles Getz, Albert Goodpasture III, George Hannon, John Harkins, Russell Hewitt, Richard Hotchkiss, Harold Hughes, William Isaac, Darrell Johnson, Charles Johnson, Leonard Katsarski, Edward Laughlin, Frederick Mallock, William McDaniel, Thomas McMorrow. Cassius Mullen. Milton Newberry. Jack O'Brien. Joseph Phillips. Anthony Acorni Jr. Courtney Prisk. Thomas Roberts II. David Rogers. Lawrence Ross. Pierce Rushton Jr. William Schwartz. Gary Simmons. Donald Simpson. Richard Sant. Irvin Tyler. James Walsh Jr. Julian Weisler II. Richard Welch Jr. John Wilson. Walter Bosicki. God bless you all. We bid you farewell.
Please be seated.
I would invite any of the former members of the Glee Club to come up here and give me some moral support while I lead you in the singing of the alma mater. Any who wish to come up. encourage us in our endeavor to live above the common level of life. Make us to choose the harder life, to set to be strong, and never to be content with a half truth, with a whole will be one. Endow us with courage, with moral loyalty, to all that is noble and worthy, that scorns to compromise with vice and justice, and knows the barrier to truth and right are in jeopardy. Guard us against the season of irreverence and sacred things of life. Grant us new ties of friendship and new opportunities of service. Kindle our hearts in fellowship with those of cheerful countenance, and soften our hearts with sympathy with those who sorrow and suffer. Help us to maintain the honor of the core, untarnished and unsullied, and to show forth in our lives the ideals of West Point in doing our duty to thee and to our country. All of which we ask in the name of the great friend, Master of all. Amen.
My name is Don Reinhardt. I'm class of 59, and I just asked the organist if he would play a chord that is so low in frequency that the entire building resonates with it, and it makes your chest cavity ache. And I remember that from every chapel service, and I just wanted to hear that once more.
35 feet long.
Wow.
My grandfather designed this organ.
He did.
Your grandfather designed it? Your grandfather designed it?
My grandfather worked for Moeller Organ in Hagerstown, Maryland, where I'm from. And this was the largest pipe organ that Moeller ever built. And he installed it with my cousins here in 1932. And his name is written on the organ right up there.
And your name is?
Marvin Moss.
Mark, you know the chord I'm talking about.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
They really can only play that pipe.
They played it every chapel service.
I know, but they can't play it for long because it can vibrate this place right to the ground.
You remember the feeling you got in your chest cavity when he played that? It was a resonant frequency.
So shall I video this from outside?
You know,
really-
being an engineer, I remember things, I recognize things like that.
This is now the largest church pipe organ in the world, and the third largest pipe organ in the world.
And the third largest what?
Pipe organ in the world.
Air driven. It's a fantastic. You've never heard him play that? It is a feeling cannot describe.
Up there, and this is the original pipe sound.
Okay.
Jim Ray used to play this.
Yeah.
He used to play on that.
And the reason I remember it so well, I gotta.
He's not playing it yet.
you for the pipe.
And some rocker, they'll get close to a speaker.
I have to take this to
and
our
the speaker
organist
is a subwoofer. You know, we'll get down to that
Washington,
range, and they'll
DC.
feel the
Well,
vibration
just
in
kind
your
of save it
chest.
to the end.
Wow.
And they're afraid
Are
their
you-
pacemaker's
My
failing.
maternal grandfather built this organ for Moeller.
just a-
Oh, okay.
Hagerstown, Maryland. And his name and my cousins are inscribed up there inside the organ.
we have to take
Oh,
Roy
right.
B. Roy B. Jacobs and the
Roy B.
Lehman
Jacobs.
brothers.
Oh,
They built
really?
this
Okay,
organ.
and they worked for Mueller?
Yeah.
And helped put this in 1911?
And no, 1930 when they were expanding.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. I'm going to moved it to
Let me
this.
see
Sorry.
his card. Let me
Yeah.
see his
Okay.
name
Gotta
tag.
do
But,
that.
you know, I was
There you
telling
go.
them, I don't know if you heard, I got a cardiac pacemaker,
Okay.
and that cord is resonant with my chest.
Oh, really?
No, and I can feel it.
Wow.
I belong to a website called the Pacemaker Club.
Okay.
22,000 members, all of them have pacemakers. And I'll read a note in there. I went to a rock concert, and I was sitting close to a speaker, and all of a sudden my chest was vibrating, and they don't know what it is. So I'll write them a monograph about resonant frequencies,
Yeah.
and I tell them about this
It will,
organ
sure.
and the effect and what it can do to you, and you can really feel it. But if it's something like you got a pacemaker, it scares the crap out of you because you think your pacemaker is quitting and you're going to die. I've written this worldwide probably 5 or 6 times to people who had that particular problem.
Okay.
So is the recital this afternoon yours?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're
Our
coming.
class.
What's that?
What's the conflicting event?
This chat, this talk, I don't remember his name, by the gentleman who's just returned from Syria and is going to talk about artificial intelligence.
Well, you don't have to do that.
Well, that's
We have a
true.
lot of that in our class.
There you go.
Tony Meganello.
True. Yeah, anyway. Just a thought.
Here, though, that gives you the
Collapsing disc.
Okay.
Problem is my chest volume has changed. I no longer match that frequency.
Oh.
I couldn't really feel it like I used to.
Well-
But I knew it was coming.